Alright everybody, as I told you in the video previous to this, that I got a new toy. Didn't want to buy another one, but kind of want to get back into the bigger scale cars. So, bought this. Team Exceed Driftstar 2.4 gigahertz. A little hesitant to buy it because I heard a lot of bad stuff about it, and we're going to cover this throughout the car as we look at it. First initial thoughts when I took it out of the box was that it was cheap, but not cheap, real cheap. It's got some nice parts on it. Let's just get started with the body first. This is where they kind of skimped on. It is a 200 millimeter body, but it's not scaled, and you're going to get that with a cheap car. Of course, they messed up right here, as you can see. They forgot to cut it, which it happens. These bodies are made in Hong Kong, China, wherever they get the cheapest from. But it works. It's just not to scale. As you can see, it's got headlights in it. It comes with stickers. I just took the headlights out of a cheap RC that I had. Cut them down to fit. Unfortunately, with this being photo film, I had to sand out the headlights and taillights because light won't go through them, and I just took some clear nail polish and put it back over the body, which in turn glossed it back up, as you can see. Taillights is just some chrome tape, some red out that you can get off of eBay for your car, and some simple transparent orange with a chrome sticker behind it, and my signature exhaust. Body's nice. It's cheap. I mounted the battery to the inside because I didn't feel like messing with it on the car yet. They're bright. Of course, they're 15,000 MCD like all my cars. And then the taillights. And my homemade license plate. That's the body. Let's get into the car and we'll go from there. Alright everybody, this is another part in the video. I'm just going to throw all these together. This one is on the deanodizing of the upper chassis brace, the shock caps, the drive shaft, and there's another one. The aluminum in here, you can't really see it, but just deanodize this because they had a nasty purple on it. Just like the cup racer had that ugly orange. Didn't like it, so I changed it. I think it looks pretty good. Go off here for a second and get everything ready, and we'll get started on the review. Alright everybody, this is another part. This is going to be quite a few parts. I'm just cutting out so I can do some editing. These are the factory plugs that they give you. Yeah, they look nice. They kind of look like EC3 plugs, the low C plugs, but they're not. These are junk. I mean, I had similar plugs like this on another car, and I got 5 minutes into the running and fortunately couldn't pull them apart, and these already are like that. So just take those and throw them in the garbage. What you're going to want to switch over to, honestly, are these Dean's plugs. All my electrics now have Dean's plugs on them. Set this right here. This is just the cover to keep it from touching and shorting out if there's any voltage left in the ESC. It's just a piece of fish tubing, doubled over, super glued, and then heat shrunk. And of course, I did this battery. I did all three of my Venoms. I like this battery terminal a lot better than Tamiya, wherever you're at, however you want to say it. The Kiyoshi plug, which is the same thing as the Tamiya plug. also known as the Molex plug. You have the EC3. I've never really had any use with the EC3, but I heard they're alright. I just don't want to deal with them. Then you have the, I think it is, there's another one, I can't remember what it was. Well, of course, there's this one, the Tamiya, the EC3, and I believe that's it. Other than that junk plug, but just upgraded it. Seems to run a lot better with Dean's. Give me a second and we'll get started again on another section. Alright everybody, let's get started. Wheels and tires. These had some red anodize on them. It was alright. It worked. But unfortunately, when I took it out of the box, one of them was chipped. So I just took and painted the centers black and put a red ring around them. Kind of matches the body, the red, the black, and the silver. Tire wise, they're set up like a Yokomo, which is kind of cool because Yokomo has pretty good drift tires. They have a rubber outside and a rubber inside, and then they have this plastic insert, which is kind of grippy when you first drive it, but once the tires are broken in, they get sideways pretty quick. Let's see what else. Differentials. Yeah, the differentials. Never had a differential free spin like this. Both sides. You know, a lot of people are going to say it's because it's cheap. The only way I ever got a differential to do this was no grease, and I had the liberty of taking both the front and rear differential out because, of course, I had to de-anodize and buff the drive shaft. So I said, you know what, it's down this far, let's see if they have grease in them, because out of the box it doesn't feel like they have any grease. So I checked it. Ring and pinion have grease. The spider gears inside have grease, and I cleaned them out and re-greased them. But look, they still have the free spin. So you can't complain about these differentials because they work. The whole car works. Give me a second and we'll get into the next part. Alright everybody, shocks and oil. Shocks are nice. Of course they're aluminum capped. You take them, get the car out of the box. You're probably going to want to oil the shocks because unfortunately this one didn't have any oil in it. They are kind of soft, but they work. They have 50 weight oil in them right now. More than likely I'll be upgrading to TT01 shocks from the Tamiya. I did some measuring and they fit. I'll just get the adjustables because I got these preload spacers in there. Don't really like running preload spacers because they have a tendency to fall off if they get weak or you hit something and they fly off. So just something that you're going to want to do is check your oil before you run the car. That way they have oil in them. And I've found personally myself that 50 weight oil from Losi actually works really well. I've always used Losi oil because that's always the cheapest at my hobby shop. But just a suggestion, that's what I do. So if you feel froggy and want to try it, give it a try. Get on to the next part.